Since the first Metroid was released in 1986, the series has had one main thing consistent through every game. You are alone. Each game has its own setting that enhances that sense of loneliness, from the music to the abandoned structures found along the way. The Prime series is a great example of this, as each one has the player exploring planets with either an extinct or near-extinct society, which left items to help whoever would come to the planet in hopes of them stopping the spread of corruption, known as phazon. The first game of the series, Metroid Prime, starts right off with Samus arriving on a space station in response to a distress call, only to find numerous dead space pirates and Galactic Federation troops. Eventually, she finds Ridley, who escapes down to the nearby planet of Talon IV, with Samus following. As she explores the planet, she learns that it was one of the homes of the ancient race known as the Chozo, who had actually been the ones to raise Samus as a child and gave her the power suit. The lore found throughout the area also tells of what happened to the planet, frequently mentioning the corruption that had begun to spread through the planet, corrupting members of the Chozo and turning them into what is seen in the game as Chozo ghosts, who defend ancient relic sites throughout the planet. The next game, Metroid Prime 2, has Samus responding to a distress call on planet Ether, where she ends up crash landing, finding a desolate planet constantly ravaged by interdimensional electric storms. As she explores, she eventually finds the bodies of the stranded Galactic Federation soldiers, and learns what exactly happened. She then moves on to find out what's happening to the planet, and finds the only member of the Luminoth race that hasn't been put into an indefinite stasis. Umos tells Samus that an asteroid impacted the planet 50 years ago, splitting the planet into a light dimension and a dark dimension. The beings of the dark dimension, the Ying, started a war with the Luminoth, where nearly all members of the race were eliminated, confining the remaining few to a temple. Samus then goes alone through the planet, finding deceased Luminoth spread throughout the relic sites, and where they defended the light energy of the planet. final game of the trilogy, Metroid Prime 3, starts off very differently from every other entry in the series. Samus is in the middle of the Galactic Federation fleet, going to meet up with the Admiral of the fleet to be briefed about Aurora units, which are essentially super advanced computers, being corrupted by an unknown virus. When she gets there, she is greeted by 3 other bounty hunters, Rundus, Gore, and Gandrea, who are expected to help Samus as she tries to restore the Aurora units. This quickly falls apart, as all of the bounty hunters are defeated by Dark Samus on planet Norion, leading to the group splitting up over 3 different planets, leaving Samus behind to recover. When she awakes, she is sent out to planet Brio, which is a very primitive planet that has massive but decayed statues spread throughout the planet. It is learned that the race on this planet, known as Reptilicus, came into contact with the Chozo long ago, where they were given the wisdom of the Chozo. This began what was known as the Golden Age, where science began to dominate the planet, but caused a war between the Lords of Science and the worshippers of magic, known as the Primals. As she searches the planet in hopes of finding Rundus, she finds more and more of the lore of the planet, eventually being able to piece together what happened. Eventually, Samus is cornered by space pirates and completely outnumbered, when suddenly multiple pirates are frozen and destroyed, and Rundus appears as if to greet Samus. It is quickly learned that this wasn't his intention, and after battling, Samus defeats Rundus. She begins to walk towards him, hoping to find out what was wrong, when Rundus is impaled on his own ice and killed, with what looks like Dark Samus' ghost collecting Rundus' remains. Samus then moves on to the next planet, Elysia, where there is an Aurora unit that needs to be cured of the corruption virus. Also on the planet is Gore, who hopefully has not suffered the same fate as Rundus. As she explores the planet, it is quickly learned that it was another home to the Chozo and was used to observe the universe. As they stayed there, the Chozo built sentient machines known as the Elysians, who maintained the planet and defend it as the Chozo were gone. However, only recently had the planet been impacted by a Leviathan, wiping out all of the Elysians, leaving a barren planet with small maintenance machines repairing the areas. Samus eventually finds the Aurora unit and cures it of the corruption, but when she goes to repair its functions, she finds Gore, who destroys all the power grids for the Aurora unit, indicating that he was also possessed by Dark Samus.
Just in time.
She then chases him out to her gunship, where they fight and Samus then defeats him. Afterwards, he tries to escape, but his suit of armor is destroyed, where he is left floating in the air and being absorbed while Samus tries to save him, but to no avail. After watching two of her close allies die in front of her, Samus is tasked with going to the pirate homeworld to find information about the space pirates, and hopefully find and rescue Gandrea. However, this goes about as well as the other two encounters. Gandrea disguises herself as a Galactic Federation trooper and tries to kill Samus by shooting her from behind. This fails and the two battle, ending with Samus defeating Gandrea.
You know, you should never trust strangers, Sammy. This is gonna be fun.
As she is dying, Gandrea reaches out for help from Samus. Knowing that nothing can be done, she closes her eyes as Gandrea is absorbed, leaving Samus completely alone once again. In the end, the Prime series is about Samus trying to save her allies in the first two entries, only to fail in having to complete a mission on her own. While the third entry shows Samus being among friends willing to risk their lives to save her, only for them each to die one at a time, once again leaving Samus alone, having to complete the mission on her own.